ChokeOut!
That's what's so wild. I've been watching this for so long.
Yeah.
That's what people don't realize. I've watched this for a long time. And I used to think Horace was absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
I still do.
Yeah.
I had a chance to be with him in
Hoist?
Yeah, we were together in Fort Lee. I was like, whoa.
You train a little bit with him?
I love to train.
And he's not that big either.
No,
you know, when
that's what's so wild.
what's even more impressive.
Yeah, that's what's impressive.
Can I stick this on you?
Yeah.
Ask you a couple questions? Okay. I'll put it right here. Keep it out of the way.
And not just that. I think these guys don't get a lot of credit. People think that they're these brutal brutes that's just out there beating people up and that's normal. They're very intelligent. When you step into that cage or the octagon, it's a human chess match. Guys not stepping in there thinking they're going to go over there and hit the guy in the mouth or across. No, they're stepping in with some type of game plan. Just like in football, they have a game plan. But they got to have a game plan that's able to adapt. Because they don't know what this guy's going to bring to the table. And I said it to someone earlier, I said in football, when I go out to play, I can make a mistake. And I may have a teammate that may cover for me, that quarterback may cover for me, or that offensive lineman or that receiver. But when you step into that cage of this octagon, it's all you. So you better be on your P's and Q's, you better have put in the time in the gym, you just better be ready.
And how do you feel coming out for this fight? Are you ready?
I feel pretty good. You know, one thing that I said that I think makes a big difference, when I came back into this gym, I came back just to train. I had no expectation about doing another fight or doing anything like that. And then when it came up that, Herschel, do you want to fight in December? I was like, oh, yes, I'll do it. But the first thing I did, I went to the trainers. Because when I first came to this gym, I said, I would love to fight, but it's not up to me. It's up to the trainers here and up to the fighters. If they don't think I should fight, there's no shame in my game. We're not going to fight. My first fight, they said, Herschel, you ready to go? So that's the reason I decided to fight. And when they asked me about this fight in December, I said, yeah, I'm ready to go. They said, you're ready to go. So I started training for it. And some fluke accident, which was weird, I said it was a God blessing, because it was like on a Wednesday. I had just finished sparring with Daniel, and all of a sudden we happened to be against the wall just working on some technique stuff. And for some fluke accident, I cut my eye. And I'm thinking it's not that bad, I can still fight, no big deal like that. And they said, oh, it's pretty deep, you gotta go to the doctor. So I went to the doctor, he put 8 stitches in it, and I'm thinking, oh, it's still not that bad. And when I came back into the gym, all the trainers were looking at me and the fighters, and they said, Herschel, you shouldn't fight. And I'm thinking, why? Why don't I fight? And they said, well, your eye is so fresh that, you can rub up against it, it may open up. And I'm thinking, so what's so bad about that? A cut. And they said, no, you shouldn't fight. And I stuck to what I said when I first came in here over a year ago. If the trainers and the fighters don't think I should fight, I won't fight. And they said, no, I shouldn't. So that's the reason I said, no, I'm not going to fight. But I didn't leave the gym. I went out and bought me sort of like a helmet with a face guard, and I kept training. The doctor said you got to give it some rest, and my thing was, if I'm here, I might as well train. I've trained almost every day of my life since I was 14. So I say, I'm not going to let a little cut keep me from training. So I continue to train.
ChokeOut cancer.